Welcome to At a Glance, the series where we go over a game we had recently, go over what went right, what went wrong. A lot went wrong in this one. There's sort of two lessons here. It's sort of a double at a glance for one game, because there's two major things I want to focus on, and they're kind of divided by each half of the game. But also, there are things we did right that I also want to go over, relating to the things that went right. You'll see what I mean. The first thing I want to focus on is, you can see, because 4 of us have names on the orange team, 4 of us are in a stack, and the Goyo is our random. As soon as we loaded in, Chris asked if any of us had a specific name, at which point he realized this is a friend of his that he knows, and he sort of went, oh cool, a friend of mine's in this lobby. Oh shit, it's that friend, because this friend is in Copper, which means that this was a Copper lobby, and watching this entire replay, watching this game happen, kind of showed that this was a Copper lobby. So, focusing on the Goyo first, because this is going to be sort of a do and do not from the Goyo's perspective. Very first thing he does is Goyos on the windows. Don't do that shit. Don't put Goyos on barricades, especially external barricades like windows, because Goyo is great for stalling. Goyo is a great stall operator if you use him right. If you put the Goyos on barricades, they'll detonate the instant a barricade opens, and usually people aren't going to run directly into a barricade the instant it's broken. You want to put the Goyo canisters next to the barricades or somewhere the enemy just can't see or hit them, so when the enemy actually crosses through and you can actually detonate the Goyo, now they're in more danger and either have to advance into an unsafe position or have to stay back on your terms. But when you just put it on a barricade like our Goyo's doing, you don't get that. You're basically just sort of burning sight for no reason. Like the instant a window opens and one of these Goyos goes off, part of sight's going to be on fire, and you've now lost the advantage that Goyo has. So first thing he does, Goyo's on the barricades. That's already a red flag for me. He decides to put his third on another window. 15 seconds left. He puts this last Goyo is in a good spot. I like this last Goyo because now if the attackers decide to push meeting and push for a B hit, now we have something to stall them out over here. But we still have 3 Goyos on the windows. That's not great. So he puts his last Goyo next to meeting double. I did not realize we opened all this shit. So Goyo finishes the construction project. Runs to he runs to banana and then runs to one of the windows and goes for a peek. He sees the Amaru, gets a bullet on her, doesn't do anything. He's just going to keep peeking this and hope that maybe someone didn't get the memo that there's, someone peeking. So he runs away from his peek because his peek didn't work. He's going this long way down to the stairs instead of just jumping, and happens to get the ram. I don't even know if the ram just didn't drone or was just face checking or what was going on. A lot of people in this lobby confused me. Just like this Amaru here, who is getting ready to hit sight. Jumps into the window. Gets a little bit fucking burned. And gets shot and maestroed the entire time she's inside. In the meantime, while that was happening, our Goyo, who just got the kill, gets into a duel with this Doki. Decides to go prone, which, by the way, if you're in a duel like this and you have a piece of cover like this column that he's behind, don't go prone. Going prone makes you a much slower target. You're a smaller target, but you're slower. You are easier to hit. Do not go prone. Stay standing just so you can really quick back and forth or even haul ass. A faster target is going to be way harder to hit than a smaller target. So he dies to the Doki over here. The Doki wins that duel. That's all I want to show for that round, because we're going to be focusing on this random for a good bit. So we're now on round 2. He's now on Aruni. I'll give him credit. Aruni's a little better for what he was doing with Goyo. Honestly, I don't hate it. Okay. I hate that he just did that Aruni on the meeting side, because now if they push meeting side, we can't reactivate that Aruni gate. It should be facing sight. He's just sort of running around setting up Suryas, I think. He set up one in meeting. He hauls ass to square to put one on square, which isn't the worst. And then he puts double barbed, which I understand. I'm not a fan of it, because if they bring an Ash or a Ram or frags or anything explosive, really, you're losing both barbed. And with the way they're positioned, they're not really gaining anything per se, because they can just hit one of them from outside safely. The other, they do have to hit inside, but like, it's so close to the first one. Like, if he only did one barbed, I'd prefer the one he's sitting on right now. So that's his second Surya up and meeting. Third goes into stock, and now he's gonna haul ass back to site. Can you guess what he's about to do? Based on the fact he's shooting open this barricade and playing an operator with a DMR? That's right, he's gonna peek again. Welcome to Copper. So he sees this Doki, starts shooting. He has the Doki's attention now. Now the team is aware that a peek is happening. He goes to duel the Doki, gets a shot on her, doesn't kill her. He stays at this angle, waiting for her to peek again. The Doki just keeps fighting this. He goes to another window and gets his shit rocked. If you are going to do a peek, and I'm not saying go do peeks. Everyone knows how I feel about spawn peeks. I think spawn peeks are cheap as shit and usually result in losses you really didn't need. But if you're going to go for a spawn peek, the instant your spawn peek has failed, you should not stay here. You should not re-peek this, because the enemy knows that you're in this really tiny little pixel. Like, the enemy knows exactly where you are, and typically, like the Doki, they have much more maneuverability to actually take that duel. I actually don't know how the Doki didn't hit him there. So the Doki has cover and can play this safely, and the guy going for the peek doesn't have that safety. If you keep peeking as the person doing the spawn peek, you are in more fucking danger than the person that's outside. So yeah, he died fucking immediately because he was going for a peek. So now we're on our third round. It's 1-1. We won one of our rounds. I don't even remember which one, honestly. He's a Rooney again. Puts a Surya gate in garage. That's not bad. Puts another Surya bottom blue. Like, his Aruni placements aren't the worst. He puts one barb dirt, which is a smart call. Hits a drone. I don't even think he tried. Nope, he does try for the other. Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb. He's wasting a lot of time on these drones. If there are drones and you just haven't hit them in your first 5 or 6 bullets, don't even bother with them anymore. If they can waste your time in prep phase on drones, especially when you need to set shit up like Aruni does, then they did a decent job in prep. Drones aren't just for information, they're also for distraction. And this dude now has 4 seconds left to set up his other barbed, which he puts in an even worse spot. And he still has one more Surya in pocket to set up, which he puts on the outside of sight again. This is the second Surya gate he's put facing the wrong way. So he's just going to sort of run around, figure out things to do, make just a hole so he can fight. So they're immediately fighting for server. Why did he punch a nut? He is just punching random holes. This dude actually does not know how to set up a site. He knows how to make really weird angles. So he sees the blitz. He sees 2 shields. Tries to take that duel. Can't really do shit. Reloads. All he can really do is hold the door. He pings to tell us where they are, but we already know where they are. Like, I'm above site on the hatch, helping him as best I can. So most of the team is over in server. The Monty, the Blitz, the Rara, basically their plant team, while Ram and Doki are in garage. So this dude is so dead set focused on server, he is just honed in and completely unaware of the entire angle that he was just exposed from. Which, granted, part of this is on us not having any utility or players in garage, but at the same time, if you're going to play to stop them from entering this door, you either want to be playing right here in blue door, or you want to be playing in red hall on these head holes to specifically avoid getting shot by the people going garage. But if you're playing back here in this hall, watching server door, then you are very exposed from garage. Like, that is a very long line. So that's his third death, and now we're going to go to the half. So this is where we realize it's going to be a very weird game. Because first of all, they started basement. which I don't think I've seen anyone do outside of competitive. Like, this is just an unranked game, and they started basement. They have Tubarão, Tachanka, Clash, all going to this dirt door, and you probably know what's about to happen already. Meanwhile, Warden is also sort of on his way. Alibi is going to play site, it looks like. The instant time starts. This team is going to haul fucking ass into the tunnel and set up everything. Tachanka sets up a shield. Clash sets up a shield. Our Kali dropped. I'll admit, I played this like shit. I waited up top hoping the frags would do something. I got the Tachanka, and then I get refragged immediately. I got my trade. I played like shit for this entire first half. Like, this was not a good game for me at the start. In the meantime, let's check on our random, who is already going into electrical. And this would be a great time for him. Can he destroy the hatch? The hatch is already open, which would be even better for him. He can just hold the guys in dirt. He's going to go down the stairs. There's the barricade that the Tubarão set up. He could use an Ash charge here and open it. Instead, he just shoots it without an Ash charge, and then comes up to the hatch and does this sort of soft peek. There is someone in server looking up at the hatch. So she does this really quick cursory glance, sees the tunnel, hot drops it, not even with her gun up. She just hot drops it. The two things she did wrong with this, she did horribly wrong. The first, she has a drone in pocket. She still has a drone that she could use. And the second thing is the fact that she just dropped. She didn't even have, even if theoretically she could go for that kill, she did not have her gun up. There was no reason for her to drop just with her gun not up, she actually just dropped into death. Yeah, that's that round. We lost that one. And we were starting to feel pretty bad because it was 1-3 in their favor. And we just lost to a weird Clash gimmick in the tunnel. And now this next team's site was open area, which is also very weird because I never see this, again, outside of competitive, but also I never see this unless a team has won, you know, upstairs and basement. Like, this is very much a common tertiary site. And this team has gone basement first round, open area second. And you can tell they're going to do the exact same thing. Everyone grabs their rook armor. We drone that they're open area. They're opening up this barricade so they can jump out. Pretty easy to figure out what they're going to do, especially since this whole Clash jump out worked the first round. But this time, we learned, because gimmicks only work one fucking time. So the Clash, the Rook, and the Goyo all run out. Immediately, I go for the cam. I get the alert that they're running out. I want to go face them directly. And then I think that is a bad idea. That's exactly what gimmick strats want you to do. So, very first thing, if you see a gimmick strat happening like this, if they're committing a lot of resources to a dumb plan, don't fight that plan head on. Fight around that plan, which is what you're going to see here. I'm going up the ladder as fast as I can so they don't swarm me. I'm going to run to the edge and take my free shots on the guys that are getting constantly pinged for being outside. This Clash wants to go back in. I'm going to burn near her so she can't go in. Sens comes up to help me. We both light up this Clash. So now that we've killed 3 of them, this is a 5v2 that we have 2.5 minutes to fight. I pop that Goyo immediately so that it's not an issue when we actually go for the execute. A lot of this mid round is sort of slow, so I am going to speed it up. I see the Legion here. I call for our Sens to move so I don't accidentally shoot them. And I sort of whiff that free kill. That's on me for being kind of slow. It happens. So we're just going to do a lot of droning. Glaz shoots my drone. By the way, the random is Glaz this round. Just playing this window. So I'm going to go around the Glaz and go for a different angle. Because obviously Glaz has this one covered. I'm not needed here. Smoke there for the Glaz so that Glaz can have an easier time. I'm going to go in through electrical. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, clay over here so I don't get, you know, run out on or any shit. So me and Glaz are relatively safe. And I'm going to make a hole here so that now we have 2 crosses happening into sight. We have Glaz looking from the alley window directly into sight. And we have me and Electrical with this sort of off angle looking into B towards the double door. So anyone who is still in sight more or less has to be stuck in this little cubby area and this little office here where Vigil and Legion exactly are. So we're going to spend a lot of time sort of doing this setup, getting ready to execute with this rough idea of where the enemy is. We throw smoke over at the door. I'm guessing that's just Glaz wanting to be Glaz. They're so fucking pinned right here because Glaz's angle with the wall broken cuts all the way sort of into the corner, which prevents Legion from moving. And the angle I have prevents anyone from using the double door. So the only real threat we have is the office door here, which is pretty much being covered by Sens. Like, we all know exactly where this guy is. So now that we're low on time, now that we have everyone in position, I'm going to start pushing in and actually making things happen. I'm going to swing in. Legion surprises me. I get the down on him. I get the down on Legion because they happen to be lined up. Finish off Legion. Finish off Vigil. That says quad kill. But I want to go ahead and point out something. I got this Goyo. That's 1. I got this Rook. That's 2. This clash out here has been sort of the topic of conversation all morning for me. Because I did all the damage. I got the kill. I'm in the kill feed. On the little timeline, it says I did it. But the clash did not count as a kill for me. It counted as a kill for Sens. So let me go ahead and slow this down. Because I want my clout. So Sens does light up the clash, but doesn't kill her. In the middle of all this happening, I get the down. The shield is still facing Sens. But Sens gets the kill credit. Like, Sens' kills go up, and mine stays at 4. This is going to be the one time I ask anyone to say anything in the comments. Tell me whether or not you think this was an ace. Because I got the down on this clash. Like, there's no argument I got the down, and there's no argument I got the kill credit, according to the game. Did Sens get the kill through the shield when she went down? Did I get the kill on her while her back was turned to me? I just have no clue. Just go to the comments. Tell me if, validate if I got an ace or not. Either way, I'm happy with a 4K, but, an ace is an ace. And also, fun fact before we go into the next round, this is the only round where our random has survived to the end. And that's just because we got 3 kills at the start, and they didn't really do anything after that. So now this team finally goes upstairs, and they're immediately going to do another gimmick strat. They're going to do both of these square walls, just in the back corner. Echo is going to set up his shield just sort of in this back corner. Jaeger's probably going to give him ADSs as soon as the shield's up. Their entire strat is basically looking like protect the president. Echo is going to sit in the corner with his shield, with Clash protecting him, with his bots, and the whole strat is if they come into sight, there's this little fortress in the back corner of sight where Echo is playing with his drone so that we can't plant. Our random is a Maru. So the random's going to immediately haul ass to a window, hit it, and get fucking annihilated because Amaru is loud as shit when she does her grapple, and everyone's going to look at that window and know exactly where you are before you know where any of them are. So don't fucking Amaru into a window. In the meantime, while Amaru was Amaruing, I went around to the side of the building to avoid any peeks from square, from sight, etc. And I go up to the roof. I do a quick little peek into ATMs, maybe catch someone off guard, catch someone who wasn't expecting someone on the far end. No one's there, obviously. This is what I always fucking do as Capital on this site. I see the window open. Usually I open that window. I'm going to shoot fire directly towards that corner, just in case someone is playing in that corner in some weird spot, which luckily Echo's on his drone and Clash is in that fire. They both go down. Unfortunately, I cannot get the kill on the Echo just because he's out of my sight. I happen to see that there is a shield in the fire, so I'm going to pull out the gun and just pop it. So with one firebolt, I've killed the Clash and downed the Echo. Again, I actually didn't know I downed him. I'm going to open one of these windows just to put more pressure on them and I don't expect someone to actually peek, which is a nice surprise. So we're starting this with 2 kills immediately. By the way, random disconnected, because he was going 1 and 5 in round 6. There's a reason I was focusing on that random for the first half of this video. So I've gotten 2 picks. That is a lot of success on my part, so I'm now going to pivot. Someone calls that Aruni's in stock. That's a rough ping. I see her gun. I just start shooting, and she starts trying to run as soon as the shooting starts, runs into my shooting. So now it's 4 of us against the Echo, who is beyond lit, and the Jaeger, who's playing in Janny. If I stayed on the windows, I absolutely could have gotten this Echo. I kind of regret pivoting, but like I still got a kill, and 90% of the time staying on the windows won't do shit. Because we have the advantage, I'm gonna drone and try not to just stay stagnant and stay, you know, safe for so long. We need to find these last 2 and figure out how we're going to get them. So I see the Jaeger in sight. I'm gonna drop, immediately take care of this barbed, and I'm gonna make a hole in the wall so that I have this sort of cross into B site. And I'm just gonna hold this cross because we got a call from our Cali that someone was in meeting. So we know that someone's in meeting. We have sort of a cross on the guy in meeting. If the meeting guy tries to leave, I've got the angle, or Chris has an angle on him on Cali. So this Jaeger is super pinned and dies. It is a 4v1. Now we're going to just execute. We're just going to flood site with the advantage we have. Get rid of that Rooney gate. I did the second bolt a little too early, so it got zapped. While everyone on this side is hitting, like, A site, I'm going to hit B and go for a plant behind the chassis. Very first thing I do once I enter site, I see that there's an Echo on the board. I remember there's an Echo on the board. So instead of immediately rushing for the plant, I'm going to immediately look up and look for the Echo drone. Because if there's an Echo, especially in a copper lobby, 90% chance their plan is I'm going to Echo drone and blast whoever plants and keep them from planting. So I immediately find the drone, and now that the drone is dead, I'm safe to plant, unless he wants to dedicate his other drone when everyone else is hitting site. So diffuse goes down, I put a claymore, I'm just going to eat that Aruni gate and rush over here and just sort of set up an angle and wait for the Echo. Make my angle, and in the meantime, our ace goes into Janny and just happens to win the duel. What we've learned, now that we're going into overtime, is that our random was dog shit. Like, we saw that they had the 2016 badge and all felt so much better about our own skill. But also, we're learning that this team is very reliant on gimmicks and doesn't know how to actually play Siege. Like, this is very much a copper stack doing copper gimmicks. And the thing about copper is, it's almost sort of a crab bucket elo, if that makes sense. Everyone in copper is going to do gimmick strats and spawn peaks and weird shit because people in copper don't know how to counter gimmick strats and weird shit and spawn peaks. So it's this sort of back and forth of everyone in copper getting kills on everyone in copper and thinking they're hot shit. But then they go to like bronze and silver and people can counter the spawn peaks. People can counter the gimmicks. So they go back down to copper and they don't understand what they're doing wrong because they're getting all these kills in copper and then none in bronze. It's just this crab bucket elo. As soon as someone climbs out of copper, they do a gimmick and just get thrown back to the bottom of the bucket. If you want to actually climb out of low ranks, stop doing gimmicks, stop trying to be a gunner, and actually learn Siege, learn the utility, learn how the game is actually played and not just Call of Duty or, hey, I bet they've never seen this before. So you can tell from the fact that they're in basement and they have a Clash and a Jaeger and someone that has a shield that they're going to do the rush into dirt again. And we know immediately once we see that's basement, they're going to do the rush into dirt again. They're setting up to run into dirt again, just like they did during their first defense. They all run out. We call that they're running out. So we come up with a plan. Chris is going to go the complete opposite direction. He's going to go through garage. I'm going to stay up here and throw a drone and effectively distract the people in dirt and make them think that we're going to commit to this. Because why would a team commit a drone to an area if they're not actually going to push it? So now, these three are convinced that we're actually going to hit dirt and fall into their gimmick again. We're not going to hit their gimmick at all. This is how you counter a gimmick strat. Go around the gimmick. Don't fight the gimmick head on. Monty's immediately going to open the hatch, which honestly I could have goned. I wanted to shoot the pipe, but the pipe's not there. I'm going to burn the tunnel so that Mute, Clash, and Jaeger are effectively all stuck in here. And the only people we need to worry about are this dock and garage and the warden who managed to make it out into server. We have hatch control. Monty's down in the door telling me what's going on. I pop the shield with a gon. I refresh my fire so the people in the tunnel are still stuck. Clash gets through with a lot of damage on her. In the meantime, while we have 4 people confirmed in server or in dirt, we have our Nook, who has managed to make it into red and is just sort of waiting for something to happen, looking for someone in sight. The dock is right here, doesn't know what's happening. Nook takes him out. That is our first kill. So Nook gets the dock, and Mute happens to run by as Nook is firing. So now, we know for a fact the last 3 are all in server. The last 2 are all in server. Clash is over here with her shield, which Monty is still watching, and the warden's behind the server rack, which I'm pressuring. Monty's just sitting here in the door, backs up because, getting zapped. We still have Grim Blue stairs. We still have Nook in sight. I'm still up on the hatch, ready to pressure anyone who peeks. So that's unfortunate. Clash gets our Grim. I get the Clash because the littlest bit of her foot was exposed. And they just don't know how to fight this now. We've effectively flipped it so that the defense is now playing the attack, trying to get into A site, and we have people in sight playing this like the defense, playing, in red in a defensive position, playing in the door in a defensive position. We have me up on this hatch in a defensive position. The defense is playing attack. Warden hops in. Just the littlest bit of him exposed next to Monty, which Nook takes care of. Once the gimmick falls apart, a team that is doing gimmicks doesn't know what to do anymore. Because a gimmick isn't just like a thing you do and then you have plan B. A gimmick is a commitment. A gimmick is your whole plan for that round. And once the gimmick falls apart, you have nothing to fall back on. Once the gimmick is done, you're done. And as long as we don't feed into the gimmick, as long as we play around the gimmick, they don't have the tools or the resources to counter what we're doing anymore. I'm not going to bother with round 8 just because we lost round 8. They basically just got aggressive and we got unlucky. There's nothing really to look at. And now we're on the last defense. They go basement again. And they've realized, oh, we have to actually play siege. So they're actually going to set up site and actually, do things. I'm looking at this Mira specifically because she sets up her first Mira pretty much in the default at some point. I don't know why she's taking a million years. Maestro is opening the entire fucking wall for whatever reason and puts a camera in red. 2 cameras in red. So this all 3 of his cameras. So this Maestro is throwing. This Maestro is absolutely just throwing right now. He helps open up the wall. Mira's putting up her mirrors, probably. By the way, prep phase is over. The round has started. What is Mira trying to do? Is she having trouble with this? That's like a default. What were you having trouble with? So she sets up one. And then what confuses me is she sets up another one. So there are 2 Miras watching A site, which is a decision if we decide to push dirt, which none of us decide to push dirt, both because Doc ran out there, so we think they're doing the gimmick again, but also because we just don't want to hit the same site again, because now they're going to be more or less prepared for it, when there's a whole second site for us to hit. So turning the timer back a bit, I see this Azami in square. She got the hatch. We're not going to hit hatch, just because that's a lot of work. If it's soft, we would have hit it, but if it's hard, that's work. I see the Azami's in square, so that's what I'm going to do. I get confused by the dock. I throw flash to make him think that we're going down there, and I'm just going to sort of play with him a little. And yeah, that's all I do. I just play with him a little bit. I'm not going to overcommit to it. I'm just going to make him think that he's making the right call. So I got the outside cam. And I'm going to go towards square and take care of that Azami I saw, because my assumption is she's playing to actually keep control of square and keep us from hard breaching square. So I'm going to get up on the skylight, get on my square cam. I'm going to see if this Azami is still here. And she is in this corner. I try to get an angle on that corner I saw her in, and she ran. Monty peeks too and finds her. So I'm going to pivot and just take out the Azami. So we're already up 1 because we got the Azami, which equalized, but also they TK'd their Maestro. When the fuck did that happen? So the Maestro's just doing shit, and the Mira's probably gonna pop him, and the Mira pops him. So it's gone from a 5v4 to a 3v4. I'm assuming we have full control of square, and I'm just going in. In the meantime, we have Chris on the Nook, who opened vault and is droning vault. So Chris tells us that we could hit vault. Like, that's not a bad hit. Monty's going down blue stairs for server. We're just sort of clearing server, because server could still be the hit. We might still have a hit here with server. I'm going to burst the pipe just to get the pipe out of the way. I'm going to drone server, make sure no one's in server, see what we're dealing with. And I see this weird double Mira setup. So Chris is still calling we have vault. I'm going to decide based on everything we found, we should not go towards the double Mira. We should go vault, which unfortunately, Chris gets got by this Legion in vault. Luckily, someone dying does tell us information. Chris dying there means there's someone in vault. So I put a Nomad at the far end of vault, like towards the big door. I'm going to see if I can spot the dude that killed Chris, which I do. And I got the kill. So it's 3v2. The Doc and the Mira are both towards Red Hall. The Doc's actually going to react to that kill. And I'm not immediately dropping yet, because I don't know where the last two are. I don't have a drone, so I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I'm trying to think about, like, what my plan is. I have an air jab and I have a flash. If someone was by the big door, I would have at least spotted their feet or something, or they would have gotten air jabbed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of hot drop. I realize my Nomad by the big door was shot, which is unfortunate timing. I'm going to put another air jab at the far end. I'm going to throw a flash. I'm very thankful that this Doc couldn't aim, because that would have been disastrous for me. I do get the kill on the Doc. The last person is the Mira, who is currently being bullied by our Monty. So Monty is screaming, Mira's right in front of me. I'm going to try to haul ass to help. And I'm just sort of rushing in to help. I didn't expect the Mira to just come out from behind the chassis. A lot of that last little second was me being scared, especially because Monty did die. And yeah, long as fuck at a glance. The one big thing to take away from this, from both our random and their team, don't rely on gimmicks. Like, the gimmicks work once or twice on bad players. Someone who has played this game long enough or even knows how to identify a gimmick will not let you get away with that shit. Like, their gimmick worked on us once, and then we immediately went, oh, we should not fight that. We should go around that. If you see a gimmick in one of your games, like people running out and shit, either go around it or see what you can do to shut it all down. Every time I see a Clash running out, I think of that one tweet from Justin that was just like, hey, for everyone that's seeing a Clash run out, have you tried a Gone? Just stop doing gimmicks. The gimmicks are neat once or twice, but like, if you want to actually win, stop doing the fucking gimmicks. The gimmicks are only going to work on players worse than you. They will not work on people better than you. And yeah, peace.